Alright, so if you are a historic player from long ago, you may remember the days when Fires of Invention got spoilered. This was from original Eldraine, and it was a card that would eventually get banned in Historic because it was just really, really good at the time. We're getting it back here in Timeless, and I've put together what was once a deck that was played back then, or at least a variant of it, just so that we can see how it works now. So what this deck is trying to do basically is get Fires of Invention out and then basically make use of creatures that have activated abilities or basically just things that you can get additional value out of once they hit the battlefield. Because once the Fires of Invention is out, you have just basically you just have like all this mana sitting around because you'll be just playing two spells off of the Fires of Invention, and then basically you would just have extra mana. So you would use things like Kenrith the Returned King to do a bunch of interesting things with your lands, and then also Cavalier of Flame is another mana sink that we have in this deck. Those are the only two currently, but really it's all that we need. The idea is get Fires of Invention down, get a Cavalier or two down, attack in, maybe play like 2 turns more of the game. That's the hope anyway. We will see if that can happen. So let's go over the rest of the deck here. We have Swords of Plowshares and Lightning Bolt just because we're in Timeless and we might as well play them if we're playing Jeskai. 1 board wipe in Deafening Clarion, and 3 Teferi Time Ravelers to deal with just problem permanents and to also get our sorceries in at a little bit quicker, though this is the only one that we have that can really benefit from this. Bone Crusher Giant, more removal plus a body. The idea being that we just need to get big things onto the battlefield. We want to have something to play in these earlier turns, and we want something that's going to give us the most value out of our Fires of Invention, and I think this is a pretty good card that bridges the gap between both of those. A card that was very, very fringely played in Historic when it was originally legal, or actually, it was not when it was originally legal, it was when Fires of Invention came out. People were using Sphinx of Foresight to basically set up turns at the beginning of the game. So, pretty interesting one. Scry 1 at the beginning of your upkeep, that's always nice. Once the Fires of Invention is down, we do really want to have card selection so that we can hit these bigger cards down the line and we're not just drawing lands or whatever. Okay, so Fires of Invention, good thing. And then moving on to our 5-drops, of which there are so many. We have Kenrith the Returned King, obviously a very good mana outlet. And, we can give everything haste, which is very important in this deck. When we drop 2 things with Fires of Invention, we kind of just want to be able to give them all haste so that they can get in this turn, and then we can get in for the lethal the next turn. Virtue of Loyalty is in here. This is usable in the early game, but is also a pretty good thing to use once we have our 5th land drop, because this is going to help our creatures that stick on the battlefield become problematic. Cavalier of Dawn, a pretty good one. This one can buy back our enchantments. So this is our Fires of Invention, Virtue of Loyalty, Leyline Binding, those kind of things. We have Virtue of Knowledge, the other one. This basically can double up our Cavaliers and Cavalier of Gales triggers. Kind of decent. It's been fun when it works, but it's just in here as a one of fun of kind of deal right now. And then the Cavalier of Gales, Cavalier of Flames, generally we'll run like 4 or so of these. You can cram more if you'd like to, but I kind of wanted to spread this one out just for the purposes of making this video interesting. And then there's a 1 of Teferi because, why not have a Planeswalker? We're not going to be really in a situation where we have things to cast on our opponent's turn, so his +1 doesn't do much, but just having the ability on a board where we have a bunch of creatures to block and we are really just slowing the game down, it's good to have this -8 opportunity. Leyline Binding, obviously great removal, can be cast for as little as 3 in this deck. And then Dream Trawler, an absolute monstrosity of a card that we haven't really seen as of late. Unfortunately, you do need to discard a card in order to give this thing hexproof, but the good thing is you can deal with exile type effects like Swords to Plowshares, which is pretty cool. So that's the deck. We're pretty much Jeskai. We do have the other, so actually Leyline Binding can be just for 1, since we do run the Rogran and Zagoth Triomes. And yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of the deck tech. Definitely a brew here. This is kind of just what I was able to create based on memory and just based on kind of what I had the wild cards for. Should be a decently fun pile. Obviously, you can do a lot in terms of this 5-drop slot. You can drop things down to kind of make your curve a little bit better. Obviously, we're not even running any 2s. You can just homogenize on 4 Cavalier of Gales, 4 Cavalier of Flame, and that'd probably be a decent way to start. You could go all flyers with Cavalier of Gales, Dream Trawler, and Sphinx of Foresight. That could be another angle, but that is all up to your personal preference and expression. So let me know in the comments below what direction you take this deck in when you play it, and make sure to like the video. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Finally, if you're new here, subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now let's get into some games. Here's round 1. All right, here we go. This is round 1. I am excited for this. We have a Fires of Invention, but the mana is a little iffy. This Deafening Clarion could be nice, but we need to find either a white or red. Teferi is probably the only thing that we're really happy about being able to play here. I think I mulligan this one. Far better hand when it comes to mana and stuff like that, so I'll keep this 6. And then, since we don't have blue, I will get rid of the Teferi, unless Sphinx of Foresight could help us find blue, so I will do this. We will go ahead and reveal that. Teferi is not terribly useful. And I think Crawling Barrens is a good... I mean, just having the 4th land is nice. That will actually not get us to casting Sphinx of Foresight. I was wrong. So we will go like that. So this is pretty nice. We get to take 2 unusable cards off the top of our library currently, which is sweet. Monastery Swiftspear. We're going to be against a aggressive kind of deck. Okay, sure. Put this in tapped. Let's just go ahead and bolt this guy. Deal with some of the problems that we are facing. Teferi Time Raveler is going to be a big problem for them, which is lovely. Hopefully they decide not to play a creature here and maybe do some sort of setup. Alright, they are still thinking. There's another land here, and is there a creature? Yes, there is a DRC. We'll see how close they can get to Delirium here, and that may depend on if I bounce their DRC or not. Oh, this is Arclight Phoenix. That's good to know. So we do want to save our Swords to Plowshares for the Arclight Phoenixes. Well, I can probably just go ahead and plus Teferi here. Eat a DRC, possibly go down to only 2 life, but that's okay. We'll put a Virtue of Loyalty in front here, and then potentially Swords to Plowshares will also be fine. We gotta hope that they can't get their Arclight Phoenixes out this turn, though. That would be tough. Expressive Iteration. Okay. Not awesome to see that. They find their card, and it's going to be DRC. So it looks like they have a land here for DRC. With a good draw, we have Sphinx of Foresight here. They can bolt Teferi. They decide not to bolt Teferi. Okay. And they decide to go face, interestingly enough. So it looks like this is just going to be our 2 instant speed effects here. I can go tuck one of these DRCs. It's basically just worth a card. If they're not interested in dealing with the Teferi, then it's all good to me. And then next turn we'll now have Sphinx of Foresight up. Let's go ahead and end turn here, say go. Looking at this board state, you might even forget that we are a Fires of Invention deck. But if we do find it, we're going to be in a great situation. We've presented a little bit of a problem for them here. We will have a blocker coming up. Okay. Basically, we wait for them to go to combat. I will play into a counterspell here if they do have it. They must have removal if it's a fairy. They go for another DRC. Sure. That is going to be the bolt onto fairy, okay. So, I guess I don't care how they resolve these surveils. We'll hold up as much information as we can past all the actions that they take. And then, let's just go ahead and do this while they can't pact and negation us or something weird. And then I'll go for this. Avoid any spell pierce off of 0 mana. And we move to our turn. Okay, so we actually just draw naturally one of these things. I'll pay 2 life here and get a Sphinx of Foresight out. We do now have a blocker. We want to attack, and we'll say go. Next turn, a Virtue of Loyalty comes out, and then all of our stuff gets big. Unholy Heat still kills Sphinx of Foresight. Faithless Looting, okay. I mean, we gotta remember they still have these Arclight Phoenixes. And I have wasted, quote unquote, one of my Sword Splashers. Here comes Brainstorm, you got it. So we're basically set up. We punch really hard if we're allowed to go do our thing. But the question is, will we be able to? We'll have to scry and get pretty lucky here. I think for that reason I will not block. I'll make them have to spend 2 spells on Sphinx of Foresight or one of their Unholy Heats. They're thinking about the Sphinx. It is Lightning Axe, okay. And they discard what? Was that a land? They must be very close. I believe that means Arclight Phoenix has come back this turn. And so how many triggers do they get here when they move to combat? It is 4. We are dead. Hello. Alright. That is 15 damage to the face, and opponent will take 1 on, is it Arclight? Pretty cool deck here. Obviously DRC going to be pretty solid in this sort of build. Now, did they do anything that other than Lightning Bolt that is not possible in Historic? Yeah, it looks like a pretty much Historic build except Lightning Bolt. Pretty interesting. Definitely was a strong build, and it was able to burn us down even if it was not on its quickest hands. Okay, round 1 in the bag. Let's hop into round 2, see if we can stabilize a bit earlier. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Round 2. We have 2 lands, hoping that we can find a third and that will unlock pretty much most of this hand. Possible Thoughtseize. Oh, it's just a Ruin Crab. Okay, that's maybe not good. We do find that third land, though. So, if they stack Ruin Crabs, we have Deafening Clarion. Otherwise, we'll try to just do Teferi Leyline Binding things. Cavalier of Dawn. And we draw here, so we do find our third land, which is quite cool. Alright, Ruin Crab going off. Ashiok Dream Render. Okay, so we're going to lose our graveyard. I think I'll probably... Oh, man. Might need to be a Leyline Binding this turn. So, Leyline Binding, take out Ashiok. We're already at 40. We can actually Teferi, so we also get a draw. Okay. Ashiok is not one of the things that is targetable. Did forget. So this turn we go Fires of Invention. If they play another Ruin Crab, then it'll just be Deafening Clarion. Kind of works out. So is Narset part of Reveals? Okay. Not a problem yet.
This is my masterpiece.
I'm thinking that I probably want to take out Narset. We have Fires of Invention next turn. Okay, so the question is, do I need to do anything about Narset or Ashiok now? We are at 34. I think that Tasha's Hideous Laughter is not going to be the worst thing to happen to us, so this next turn may not be terrible. The Ashiok part's going to suck, but we can just play our Leyline Binding, then Cavalier of Gales, I guess. Or we can Flooded Strand into Kenrith Activation and then go in. Okay, that's how we'll do this. So this comes in tapped, we go Leyline Binding. We take Narset. And we say go. They play Tasha's and Ashiok us, and we lose something probably like 10 cards. We'll be at like 20. No, just the Ruin Crab. So this Deafening Clarion might be nice. We will take some damage here in terms of being milled. Potential counterspell here. Disdainful Stroke or something, I don't really know. I kind of feel like I should just be free in order to do this Fires of Invention thing though. Let's attempt it. Alright, oh, that just happened very easy. Okay. So let's go for, I think Cavalier of Gales, because awkwardly I want to use my Flooded Strand this game, or this turn. Plus we can actually shuffle away, so maybe I feel good about that. Let's put Flooded Strand, Hollowed Fountain, then we just go Dream Trawler after this and use our hand to protect it. So that seems pretty solid. I think we'll put these two back. And, well, okay. What's one that's not good? Deafening Clarion's nice because we can gain 5 life next turn. Bone Crusher is whatever. Virtue of Loyalty maybe is not the move. So we already just have big beaters. Alright. We'll put these. Doesn't matter. We're going to shuffle them away. We'll say go. Alright. Okay, so we just mill these away. It's all good. Perfect. And yeah, it's nice that we took a Flooded Strand because we do actually need to hit the Stream Trawler. Alright, there goes some of our deck. We're at 18 cards. We need to start going in. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Let's hope we hit well here. 9 cards left. Narset, okay. That's okay. So I'm going to go Kenrith Dream Trawler Activation. Okay, we're not fetching here. Alright, so let's go ahead. Flooded Strand, Kenrith, alternate cost. Dream Trawler, alternate cost. Kenrith Activation. We will go in with everything. Just at the face. Cannot draw, that's okay. We kind of want to keep Narset around right now. And I believe that is good. We have no more things that we can cast this turn. I can gain life. We can probably just ditch their Ruin Crab, try to save ourselves a little bit. Though they'll just replay it, so it is what it is. Do we want to send Ashiok or Narset back to hand? Oh, we can't actually do that. Ruin Crab doesn't really even tax them that much. I'm not sure I even want to do that. We'll just plus our Teferi.
Don't worry.
And turn, and just hope we don't get milled for 9. It all comes down for this. We either have them or we don't. Alright, they go for the -2. Can they find the kill? I'm thinking that they can. Founding the third path, they can just go for Tasha's, and I think we're done. Let's see. Yeah, that definitely is it. Dang, so we came close, just not quite enough. This is founding, I believe, for Tasha City's Laughter. Alright. Oh, and they can just mill us for the final 4. Okay. And then let's go ahead and be cool about it, and we will go out on our own terms here. Rest of part of our Veils. Let's go ahead and have target player draw a card. Why can't we do this? We don't have 4 mana. Okay, then it is what it is. It's all good. We'll just pass. They can just pass to our turn. We will take the L here. Kind of close. We did get the Fires of Invention thing going. Unfortunately, it was a little slow. Perhaps we need to just run some Dark Rituals into that thing, and maybe that will be a better way to, you know, accelerate out fires. But with that being said, I think that takes us to the end of round 2. Let's hop into round 3 as we take our draw here. They're just Ashiok-ing me over and over. That's funny. And yeah, we'll take this draw and die to decking. Let's hop into round 3. We have 3 more rounds to get it right. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Round 3. Tough in terms of the ramp, to be honest. I think we will... Well, I could consider keeping this one. Just hope that we get to a Kenrith. I don't know. Let's send it. We'll probably just go ahead and get a Triumph here. Let's get one that casts our Bolt. Believe it has to be this one. Yep, Rogren. Alright, well I guess we'll do Flooded Strand as well. Say go, pass. Windswept Heath, okay. I'll wait. Big decision here. And let's just go ahead and take ours as well. Why not? Could be a Stifle deck, you never know. I would actually like to establish all my colors. Alright, there's the Zagoth, and we have Domain. Let's go. Explore, fine. Tide Channel Pathway. Might just be Simic value, you never know. Alright, well, we're eventually going to get to this Kenrith, which feels good. And we do have all the blue that we want for Cavalier of Gales. So, the situation we're in is not terrible. Okay. If they ever get that thing out of the graveyard, we will Swords to Plowshares it. And now we know that this is just going to be Simic value, so... What needs to happen is now obvious. In terms of what I'm going to play first, I think that I want to drop out the Cavalier of Gales in case they hold an Oko in hand. Okay. We look like we're going to pass here. Fires of Invention now comes down, which possibly changes things. I don't really think that it does. Well, I shouldn't have shocked this. I should have played the basic. Here's the Fires. Might get memory lapsed. Alright, they let me have it. I don't really feel the need to bolt in their face. They're going to clearly be able to get around that. This can deal with one Oko token, I guess. Another Explorer. I mean, probably we're going to eventually see a Field of the Dead here. Growth Spiral. So we haven't really seen a game plan other than Uro so far, which we do have a way to get around. The Fairy Time Rattler probably taking my fires. Nope, that's actually fine. So we just go 5th one, Kenrith, cast with free. Cavalier of Gales, cast for free. Draw 3 cards. Let's put fires on top, bolt on top. We'll draw the fires first since we already have a bolt, or should we draw the fires? Or the... oh my god, what am I even saying? It doesn't matter because we only have 1 red mana. All creatures gain haste and trample. And then we can put a counter on one of these creatures. Alright, let's move to combat. Bang, 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 bang. It is a 1-turn clock, and we can gain ourselves some life. Alright, we'll leave it to opponent to find something to do. We also have Cavalier of Flame, plus Bolt. Primeval Titan. Okay, did think that that was going to happen, so let's see what we can find. So they're going to get 2 Fields of the Dead. It'll be 4 zombies, 8 power. We do need to gain Trample with our Kenrith. I guess we will need to take out the Primeval Titan. Would love to just have an extra turn here. Let's draw an extra card, I suppose. We don't need to gain the life yet. And then we are just a little bit away from being able to finish them out. We can go +1 counter. Oh, I'm an idiot. Alright. Attack. And then we have 2 lightning bolts. Alright. Bam. Bam. Alright, well, it was not pretty, but we were able to do it, and we were able to do it with a Fires of Invention on the battlefield. As far as a jank deck goes, I think that this meets the criteria for we did it, guys. Anyway, that was round 3 all done. Let's hop into round 4. Okay, round 4, let's go. We have Cavalier of Flames on turn 5. We have turn 3 Leyline Binding and Teferi. I'll give it a try. We only need 1 more red mana and we can search for it. We will start with the Flooded Strand here. We will get our, unfortunately, just our Rogren Triumph here. We're not going to have all colors for Leyline Binding, but it'll just cost 3, so that's okay. Alright, Delighted Halfling. Wonder what we're going to be ramping into here. We actually just find that 3rd red land, so we could have gone down further. Oh well. We're on 4 mana going into this Cavalier of Flame turn. Stalactite Stalker. What are we doing with this guy? If you descend, put a counter on it. Okay. That might be a good Leyline Binding target. A new Shock. Could be Thoughtseize. Okay. We can Leyline Binding and then bounce something, I guess. Yeah, I think we pass here. Trying to decide if it's better to bounce and see if they want to attack me down with Delighted Halfling rather than using it for mana. I think Leyline Binding is probably better play. Bowmasters, sure. So that would have blown out my Teferi, so this is good. We'll pass. Probably just Leyline Binding the Stalactite Stalker. Unless we do the Cavalier of Gales, we're probably not drawing cards. So Leyline Binding. get rid of the thing that's growing, and we'll take our 3. We are now set up to be able to play Cavalier, which is cool. Teferi, we'll just Teferi +1. And next turn we have either Flame or Gales. If Teferi is able to, I'm going to bounce the Bowmasters and then play Gales. Okay, Teferi will die. So it looks like we're just playing Cavalier of Flame. Oh, okay, we just get Fires of Invention as well, so that is almost Cavalier of Flame activation. So let's go Fires of Invention into Cavalier. I'll discard the Cavalier of Gales because we do not want to draw into anything. Drawing just 1 is fine. They'll ping us for 1 and grow their army. It's all good. Alright, so we have a big problem for them next turn, which is nice. That is unfortunate for sure. Find an island or a plains. And then we do get to do 1 damage to them, which is nice. Seven life. We're gonna have to go Cavalier, discarding 2 things, I think. We need to find a second spell to cast. It's gonna be a little awkward with the Bowmasters on the battlefield, but let's try. If they have another Bowmasters in hand, we really are gonna be in a bad situation. And then I think we go Virtue of Knowledge into Leyline Binding next turn. Exile 2 things. We'll resolve. I suppose let's just go ahead and play that. And then it is a Leyline Binding next turn. We can grow the Cavalier if we have to. End turn. Hoping we see another turn here. Oh, just the 1 ring, okay. So we'll probably take out their Bowmasters in 1 ring. Alright, cool, we're getting our turn back. Sphinx of Foresight, that's a good one. So let's go ahead and, I guess, Leyline Binding first. We want to take out their card advantage. Alright, we get 2 triggers here. Take out 1, take out 2. Then we'll go Sphinx of Foresight here, alternate casting costs, and we'll use Cavalier of Flame to make it big if we were going to attack, but we cannot, so we'll pass. Okay. We do not attack here, and we do have the potential to kill next turn. Alright, we have less of a potential to kill next turn. A Kenrith might have been able to do it if we were able to maintain our board, which we were not able to. So they might attack here. Alright, them not attacking tells me that they do not have a Bowmasters in hand, which is nice. Well, we have nothing to do here, unfortunately, so we pass. It's a top deck war, and I don't think we are really expected to win out this one, especially with the no Sphinx of Foresight. And now seeing a Shieldred, this just gets really difficult. Alright, we have basically 2 draws. We actually just have 1 turn. Has to be a good draw here. It is just Fires of Invention, so we are not, unfortunately, going to be able to make it out of this one. We'll show them the other fires, show them the land. We will go to 1 and say, you got it. Alright, so that is going to be game 4 in the bag. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get over the hump. Opponent just had enough removal, which you do see in the format, so not something that I did not expect to see here. We are going to be dead. They'll exile something from our graveyard. Teferi is a fine choice, and yeah, go ahead and attack all in. It is all you. I guess they'll have me die in my upkeep. I will get to see 1 more card. And ironically, it's something that would have drawn me 3 more cards and killed me even more. Alright, round 4 in the bag. We have 1 final round to see if we can make this deck work. It's been a bit of a brew, but I hope you've at least enjoyed the idea space here. And, you know, if you find any way to make this work in your own games, please let me know how you did it. I'd love to give it a try myself. Anyway, here's round 5. Okay, it's round 5. We have one more chance at it. We have Kenrith to start going ham and Fires of Invention to enable that, and 3 lands gets us going early. We can make a really cheap leyline binding here. Finding our Sultai Triumph still gives us the double pip for Sinks of Foresight, and we will have all the colors to use Kenrith's abilities on. Alright, good hand. I'm down to keep it. Opponent mulliganing heavily, though. Let's see if they decide to play this game on what I believe is at least 4 cards hand right now. Let's see if they keep this one. They do keep it. Okay, so it's Leyline of Combustion. We will reveal Sphinx of Foresight. Alright, so we will scry, and then I think Leyline Binding, it's not as good as finding that 4th land. I'd love to have all that stuff, but we cannot. Alright, good Sphinx of Foresight, getting huge value out of that. We do find our 4th land here, so this is going to be a Flooded Strand, a sack. We find our Triumph. And opponent is on literally a 1-card hand here, so let us see if I can Goldfish before they find their, whatever you call it, their Fragment Reality. Okay, let's go for another one. And I believe we can probably just take the Leyline Binding immediately. We'll wait for them to cast something. So we have this this one pretty much all wrapped up. We'll pass. So you go. We now need to hold up Leyline Binding, so I'm going to play a little bit slower. My turn. We will go for that, and then we'll pass. I kind of just want to blow out this Leyline play here. I mean, let's just cast it here. They may concede. So that's gone. We'll take some damage. Now I feel fine to just move on. We'll drop a Fires of Invention here. Go for the Sphinx of Foresight. And here we go. So we'll be able to respond towards any other Leylines, potentially. Aether Tunnel? Okay. Oh, they're just giving it to me, I suppose. We do get to scry one. There is a land here. So we go land, Kenrith for free, and then we go give everything, or we go Kenrith, Cavalier, give everything haste, and we go in for the win. Easy 2-turn clock. Okay, well, our opponent was definitely on one of the worst possible mulligans you could have with the Leyline Fragment Reality combo. But when you have to mulligan that far to find what you want, sometimes games go like this. Even though this one was more of a Goldfish from us, that happily turned out well. I think that I'll take these 2 very, very minor wins for the deck. Definitely a big brew, and it's a high order trying to get this thing to work in Timeless. So I'm glad that we were able to at least get 2 wins here. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the deck here. I think we have a lot of work to do on this one, and I do want to try this deck in other colors. There's some really cool green stuff going on with the Beanstalk decks that you don't really get to see too much here in either of the arena-only formats, Historic and Timeless. But that's something that's been on my radar to check out, so do look for that in the future. Maybe that'll be the color slice that works out for this deck. With that being said, like the video if you liked it, comment if you want to help with the algorithm, let me know what you thought about the deck, what could be changed. I definitely am trying to figure out how to make the curve a little bit more smooth, because you often need to run a lot of big impactful things that can be cast off of Fires of Invention, but you also want those to have other modes, like you see with all those virtues, in order to impact the early game. So definitely an interesting kind of build here. We will be going into the workshop here and try to make something useful out of this. But in the meantime, that brings us to the end. So like the video, comment to help with the algorithm, and subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's all for me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.